Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Good evening everybody and welcome back to the VOR iRacing IndyCar Euro Series powered by Apex Sage Coaching. It is round 3 of the season. We are here returning to Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. It is the second time that we run this track in VOR. Of course, last season in the Euro Series it was quite the chaotic race. Hopefully we're gonna see something similar or even better, exactly the same, because it was quite literally a perfect race for us as a league. It saw chaos at the start, which wasn't so great of course, but we saw an epic fight for the race lead all race long, and of course that all came down to the final few laps between Daniel Cofield and Torre Majid, where Torre Majid came out on top to clinch his first VOR win. So looking at the track here, you can see the track roughly 7 kilometers in length. The track temperature right now 40 degrees Celsius, and the air temperature is 26 degrees, so pretty hot if you ask me. The tires are gonna be in for a challenge tonight as we have cars on track for qualifying. So let's go to the track and cover qualifying as we bring up the beautiful overlays, which I had some issues with by the way, but I managed to sort them out. Turns out I had like 4 versions of SDK gaming on my PC, so as you can imagine it gets kind of messy, so I had to uninstall everything, and I actually figured it out today. I've been figuring it out for 2 days, and I actually got it sorted today, so here we are at Spa. And I'm happy to bring you guys coverage of this, because at some point it was looking like I couldn't get on the air at all, because without an overlay for timing and scoring it's a bit pointless to go live, so here we are. Now, I didn't get the chance to really prepare much for this broadcast unfortunately, so I'm gonna try to do as much as I can to inform you guys about what's happening, so shouldn't really affect the broadcast too much, but I don't have the fancy standings graphics ready that I would like to use, unfortunately. But going over the point standings quickly, Jesper Eriksson, the series rookie, leads it by 9 points over Sebastian Kinder, who is, I have to say personally, he's one of the more surprising drivers to be up there in my opinion. But it's great to have Seb up there in the top 3 at the moment. Alejandro Del Campo won the last race at Kota. He moves up 4 spots into the 3rd position. He is only 14 points behind the leader of the championship. Jamie Rushworth sits in the 4th position, with Patrick Silvassi rounding off the top 5 in the Drivers' Championship. And the reigning series champion Oscar Fredriksson struggling early on in the season, not the races the intensity that he had hoped for. So hopefully for him he can rebound. Of course, this track last season was very well to him. He was involved in that start pileup. Or one of the 2 pileups at the start, I should say. We had one at the chicane, before the green flag even flew, and we had one into turn 1. So hopefully for Oscar he can get a better result here tonight. And let's bring in some beautiful info about the drivers. Thomas Jensen Boy. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his hometown. I'm not sure if that's even real or not, because I know that Thomas likes to meme these things, so I'm not even gonna bother pronouncing this, because I'm not sure if that's even his hometown or not. So let's shift our attention to Thomas Geisler from Aachen in Germany. Completely irrelevant to the conversation, but when I went to the Belgian GP in real life, we actually stopped at a gas station in Aachen. So yeah. Talk about useless information on the broadcast. Alejandro Del Campo from Mallorca, and he is the most recent winner in the series at Kota, of course. Gonna try to do the same here again. He raced in the F1 Championship here. He finished second to his teammate at the time, Jorge Marquinez. So it's good to have him back in the league as well here this week. Of course, Patrick Silvassi in total in VOR, including all the series that he's run in. 6 podiums, and I believe 4 of those have been in the Euro Series. Patrick getting more and more confident in his car, on the road courses especially. Looking for another podium here tonight as he drifts his way around the bus stop chicane. And we got Oscar Fredriksson going to the professional pole 156. And just as I say that, Jesper Eriksson goes right under that. Oscar from Sundsvall, Sweden. Here's Eriksson. Nyköping, I think is how you pronounce his hometown. Was involved in a very nice battle for the race early on 2 weeks ago at Circuit of the Americas. Didn't quite come out on top. Actually, as I say that, let me confirm my facts here, because I did this 2 weeks ago. Season standings, latest race results. Just want to be sure that I don't mess anything up. And I did, of course. So, I got the two mixed up. Del Campo finished P2, Eriksson finished P1. Want to get that right out of the way. I apologize. It's been 2 weeks. I was going to use the old hours clip, but I'm going to see. Never mind. I apologize about the sizing on the overlays during qualifying, by the way. I do believe this will be fixed during the race. I managed to get the names in caps lock just so it looks a little bit nicer. That's why you see like Eriksson, Del Campo overlap on the timing side of the tower. I'm pretty sure that will be fixed in the race though, so... just bear with it for qualifying. 8 minutes left in that session. As we will pick up the defending race winner here at Spa, Taurin Majid from the UK. And I'm pretty sure this is actually his first start this season. He hasn't raced the first 2 races of the season. So he returns as he gives a very nice tow to his teammate Thomas Jensen, who's also making his first start of the season, I'm pretty sure. So glad to have those two back. And as always, by the way, please let me know about audio levels. Hello Lily, good to see you again, as always. You aren't that late. Only about 6 minutes late at the time you came in. That's about on time because it's before the green flag, so that's what matters, right? So during the night we will have a few new drivers in the league. I'm gonna try to talk about them a little bit. One of them is currently in the pits, so we will just wait to give him some airtime. But Seb Kinder out on track, currently P10. And according to Lily, I completely nailed this pronunciation, so hopefully I can do it again and not mess it up. Sèvres-Soufflé is Seb Kinder's hometown. There you can see him for Team Watson Racing. Of course, he is teammates to Patrick Silvassi. And 2 weeks ago at Kota, they didn't have the best performance, although their result didn't really reflect that. They said personally that they weren't too happy with their performances, which, you know, as a driver you always look to yourself very critically of like, what can I do better? But they got very decent finishes at Kota 2 weeks ago, so they can be very happy about that. Of course, there's a Teams Championship as well. We will talk about more next week as we go to the Hungaroring. Which actually brings me to a nice little topic. So let's bring in the schedule for this season. Of course, the first 2 races at California and Texas. This week we have Spa. Next week the Hungaroring, as I mentioned. And then we have a week off until the streets of Long Beach, which is going to be the first ever visit to a street course for both the main and Euro Series. And then we have another week off until we return to the Red Bull Ring. And then the Indianapolis bike course, which is tentative by the way, to release kind of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The entire facility should be on iRacing in the next few months, hopefully before then. And of course the final race of the season at the legendary Oval. So that's for this season. Of course, check out Apex Age Coaching as well, our title sponsor. I'm not sure what I can reveal about this though, but there will be some things changing with Apex Age Coaching. And it is for the better, I can guarantee you that. So let's go back towards the front-running drivers at the moment. Jesper Eriksson coming across the line to start another lap. Let's actually go on board with him. Get rid of this one. So 4 minutes left in the session. As I mentioned, on board Eriksson going down a rouge to radio here. It was made by Norris how his incident qualifying in real life. I was actually there, and I can tell you, everybody went silent when it crashed. That's okay. Into they come. Want to make the most use of all the tracks and the curves. Make the track as wide as possible and take as much speed as you can. Which just did us very nicely. Car bottoms out on the top of the curve there just a moment ago. Going down into no name corner. Again, want to use as much of the track as possible without getting off track. Especially in qualifying, that's going to be critical. Into Kuhan, flat out in F1, not in these cars of course, but very nice line in Apex car, Jesper Eriksson. As we go into the final part of the lap here, just before the final sector. Going up towards Stavilo. It will be flat out, and it's just off track right here. So this is Stafilo, which is flat out in these cars as well. Del Campo is not going to improve, or I think he just did improve and we just missed that. As Thomas Jensen is currently sitting in P5, about 1.2 behind the provisional pole time. As Del Campo just moved up into P1, that is. There he is. Out on track, getting a nice tow from Eriksson. I'm not sure if Del Campo is on a hot lap or not. He might just be. We have about 2 minutes left in the qualifying session, which of course is going to set the grid for the race. Okay. Let me see if I can actually fix that. 1 second, I'm gonna put up the thumbnail for the stream here so you don't see my settings being changed around all the time. You're gonna hear it though. Let's go -10 on this one. I think it should be okay. Is this okay, Lily? For the onboard audio. Just went into iRacing itself and changed the volume levels. If it's too quiet, also let me know, because I do like to have some engine sounds involved in the broadcast. But anyway, coming up towards the end of the lap with Del Campo. As we have a minute left in qualifying, so the Campo is either going, yes, he's going to start his final run in qualifying. So that was his outlet. Let's go on board. This might be a potential pole lap. We know that he is the qualifying maestro in the Euro Series. He grabbed pole by a good margin 2 weeks ago. Takes a lot of the inside curve, also the exit curve. As he goes down the hill. This corner right here is Rouge, and then you go up the hill at Radion, which is right here. Very easy to lose the back end of the car, especially at the start of the race, so watch that. As the drivers take the green flag. I've done it myself in season 5 of the main series, by the way. Didn't reset the in-car adjustments, I lost the rear on the top of the hill. Until they come again using the curbs. Don't want your car to bottom out on this curb right here, which Alejandro makes his way around very nicely. Doesn't get on that curb at all. Now you want to clip the curb on the inside here, but not too much. Kind of rotate the car into the corner. Don't take too much of the entrance curve. Here, go all the way down that curve on the exit. Take as much speed on the exit down into Puhan. Again, maximizing the track to take as much speed through the corners, which is where you're gonna gain most of your lap time. Perfect, thank you. I can put it a little bit lower if needed. But through Stafelo just now, flat out, up to Blanchimont, which is quite a tricky corner. We saw overtakes happen here in real life in F1 though. Plenty of times before. Into the bus stop chicane. The car gets very loose here. The car wants to oversteer because the tires have gone off over the lap already, as the Campo makes his way across the line and goes to a 156. I don't think he improved on his lap time though, so nonetheless he's gonna be on the pole position. So just give me a quick second to get the qualifying results right up here. So there we go. Qualifying results for the Belgian Grand Prix here in the VOR IndyCar Euro Series. It is Alejandro Del Campo on the pole position. Not by as much as 2 weeks ago at Kota though. But Jesper Eriksson starts P2 on the outside of the front row. Just over 1.5 tenths behind the pole sitter. Then we have row 2 with Oscar Fredriksson and Patrick Silvassi. Oscar about half a second back, and then there's a pretty sizable gap to Patrick Silvassi. About half a second between Fredriksson and Silvassi there. Then we have row 3. The teammate of Patrick, Sebastian Kinder, starts P5, just under a second back on the pole. Then we have Thomas Jensen on the outside of row 3. Then row 4 is Robert Sadler and Torin Majid, both about a second off the pace. And then we have 1.2 of Ross Fretton and Jeremy Pronk, and I'm gonna try to get Fretton in my head. I think that's how you pronounce it. He is a new driver. He's racing for the VOR team. So welcome to him to the league. He's a good friend of Robert's. So I guess thanks to Robert as well for getting him in. Of course, if you would like to join the Euro Series, there's a Discord link in the description, which you can join and sign up for. And you can race with us next week. If you want to race, of course, in the Euro Series. If you want to race in the main series, you can also join that. But keep in mind there's a $10 entry fee for the main series. But quickly going through the starting grid once again. We have Thomas Geisler on the final row, 1.5 seconds off. He is the only race for his representative tonight. Could have been made, and Matt Houston not being able to make the race tonight, unfortunately. So, here we go. For 25 laps at Spa, it is a slightly longer race than last season, by about 4 laps, which is the case for most races on the schedule. Of course, last season we had 150-kilometer events, and now we have 175. So before we take the green flag, let's take a look at the weather for the session tonight. We have 3 p.m. in the sim, 3 km/h wind to the north. We have a 25-degree outside temperature, which is a degree cooler than at the start of the practice session earlier. Then we have a 55% humidity, partly cloudy, which is going to help at some points in the race with the track temperature. But that track temperature has gone up to 43 degrees. So let's see if we can get through the final chicane cleanly this time. Oh, there's almost contact there, but I think we managed it cleanly. So pace car is in.
Green, green, green.
Alejandro Docampo picks up the pace from the pole position. We are in the way for the Belgian Grand Prix as the field storms into turn 1. Oh, there's Jesper Eriksson locking the rears on the blacks as he goes wide, and Docampo with a very nice lead already going down the hill. He's already leading by about a second from Fredriksson in P2, who has a great start, by the way. Up the hill for the first time. Watch the back ends of these cars. And they all make it. And look at these cars fight for position. Fredriksson still holds on to P2 at the moment. Eriksson gonna have a look at the inside, but decides better off it. Doesn't go for the gap yet. Very early on in the race. So clean and green still. Fredriksson and Eriksson, the two Swedes, on the primary black tires, which is the slower of the two compounds, but it doesn't wear as quickly. Of course, we have Docampo 1.7 in the lead right now, but he is on the reds, the alternate tires, which is the softer compound, but it will definitely fall away from you a lot quicker. In terms of pit strategy, we might be looking at a two-stopper here tonight. So Docampo wants to get rid of these red tires early, and what I would imagine the black tire runners are going to be trying to do is do the first 2 stints on the blacks, and then the final stint, make that one the shortest, and of course combined with the cooler track temperatures later in the day, you should have a little bit of a pace advantage, as we have a nice battle for position here between Torin Majid and Sepp Kinder, as we have the 2 VOR cars of Saturn and Fred right behind as well. Into the chicane. Torin later on the brakes, so is Robert, by the way. Goes in very deep into the chicane, but... Oh! Robert taps Sepp Kinder, and there's 4 cars involved in a pile-up in the final chicane. As they get back going again, let's get a replay from that in just a moment, but Sepp Kinder's got wheel damage, I think. Yes, he does. So Sepp Kinder is done, I think. It seems like it for sure. Robert's also got wind damage. There he is. Fredriksson might be just about okay though. I don't see any damage on his car, or at least it's very minor. I don't see any on his car for sure, so he might have gotten away with it. But already an incident on the first lap. Let's see what happened here. Let's actually go slow-mo here. So Robert goes in very deep into the bus stop chicane. He tries to avoid running into the back of Sepp Kinder. Let's see it from Robert's onboard. So Seb, of course, on the outside, gonna make his way to the apex to take the corner, make a straight acceleration to get the best exit. But Robert was on the inside, so perhaps should have been given some space. But I think this is a very classic racing incident, to be fair. Just 2 drivers trying to go for the same space on the track. Well, Fredriksson was involved in that too, but he was an innocent bystander. As we go back to live pictures, Robert is on a crawling pace at the moment, just trying to nurse his car to the pits. On the bright side for Robert, he's already run on the black, so if he wanted, in theory, he could go to the reds all race long. As we have Pronk with some damage as well, so I think he got involved in that too in the background. He's got to be careful here though, not run into the back of Robert. He's got a side pod hanging off, by the way. Doesn't seem to impact him too much though, as he's racing Robert for position. As he goes much later on the brakes, gets past Robert. So Robert gonna pull into the pits, but Pronk has got no side pod basically on the right side. I'm not sure if that's really gonna hamper his performance too much in the corners, because it doesn't actually generate any downforce, I don't believe. But it will create a lot of drag, so that's not gonna help him out the straights. It will definitely be slower though. So never mind what I just said, it will cost him quite a bit. Just not as much in the corners. As Sepp Kinder is back out on track as well, a lap down. He towed to the pits earlier. Thomas gets a little bit too happy there out of the hairpin. Which actually goes downhill, by the way. The car naturally wants to understeer really badly. But let's shift to Fredriksson and Silvassi. Because Patrick is right behind Oscar. And Oscar representing the number 1 this time around. Forgot to change his number on the iRacing League. Of course, he's the defending series champion. Wanted to run with the number 1. And here he is. It's not been a very smooth championship defense though, at least so far. As Patrick gains momentum on Oscar. Oscar gonna go defensive. Patrick doesn't really go for anything yet though, so I think Patrick is happy to stick behind for just a little bit longer. So Lily, I hate to say it, but you said no crash in turn 1. It was a crash in the final corner. It looked awfully similar to the start crash last season, by the way, just on the end of that one instead of the start of the race. So Jesper Eriksson runs in P2. If we pay close attention to the, yes, there you can see just up ahead, Del Campo is 4 seconds clear of Ericsson on the reds, Ericsson on the blacks, and these reds have been very quick in this race so far, but the reds will be falling off quite quickly. And it might already start in the next lap or so, when the blacks will become a little bit quicker. I quickly want to go back to Robert's incident and go on board with Fretton here, as he is just waiting to see an opportunity to go by. So Robert and Seb make contact just up in front, and then he actually gets hit by Pronk, which also explains his side pod damage. But I'm not sure if Fretton actually has any damage. Can't see any damage from this angle. Looks pretty much okay to me, to be fair. So currently the fastest lap of the race is, I have to look for this one, a 1:59.15 by Alejandro Del Campo on the reds, but the fastest lap of Ericsson, second quickest of the race at the moment, is only 6/100ths slower on a compound harder, of course. So I find it very interesting, and also something very interesting. A few laps ago, down the straight, Oscar Fredriksson with a top speed of 306 kilometers per hour, which is about 190 miles per hour. So very high speeds here at Spa down the Camel Straight. Into Lake Como here Oscar goes, as he is trying to close the gap to his friend Jesper Eriksson, an indirect teammate as well, not officially. But for Sepp Kinder, who runs a lap down in P11, not a great start to the Belgian GP for him, of course, as he was second in the points entering this race. He's for sure going to drop a few spots again after tonight. As we have some nice cloud cover, so that's going to help the red ties of Del Campo a little bit, not too much though. We see the track temperatures at the moment, still 43 degrees, just like at the start of the race. So the red will be starting to fall off slowly, and it's happening right now. Ericsson gaining about 0.4 of a second on the last lap. Well, on this lap I should say, as we get across the line right now. It's actually changed that to 5/6 of a second, so the red's definitely starting to fall away from Del Campo. Pit window is, I believe, 10 laps. So it is going to be a definite 2-stopper, according to those numbers at least. So speaking of the red tires falling off, let's go on board with Del Campo. And he is the only one in the top 5 on the alternate tires. We actually have one other car on the alternate tires, which is Thomas Geisler. And of course also Sepp Kinder on the reds, but he is not really in the race anymore. Well, technically he is, but he's out of the running for a good finish, I would say. It's probably a better term to use. But Del Campo definitely losing some lap time compared to Ericsson, as the gap is now down to 2.9. There he is. And we are coming up towards the end of the first stint already. Pit stop should be about 4 laps away. We got Prom down a lap as well. Did he crash or? I think he just went into the pits to get that damage repaired, which took quite a while. Maggi went off the track. Ooh! Locks the brakes, goes straight on at the chicane on the back of the track. Very nice. Sliding across the grass. Regroups and back on his way again. Didn't lose much, but of course not ideal. Of course, later on tonight on this channel we have the VOR IndyCar main series powered by Apex Age Coaching, which will be going to Japan. Yes, we haven't gone there in a very long time. The last time was last year when we ran the Indy Japan 300K on the oval, which was in the main series. Tonight though, the road course at Motegi. The oval is up next week, which is a nice Japanese double header. Of course, next week for the Euro Series is the Hungaroring. It's going to be an exciting race at the whole course tonight. Definitely worth tuning into if you are still up by that time. Of course, that is going to take place in about 3 hours from now. Make it 4 hours. I can do basic math in my head. So 1 AM Central European Time is when the main series, is going to take to the track for practice. 1:30 is going to be the start of qualifying, which is also going to be the broadcast start time, which will be done by Chris Scala for the Cats and Esports Network on our channel. So Ericsson is starting to slide around a little bit more himself as well, trying to close the gap to Del Campo. 18 laps to go. A few laps away from the first round of pit stops. Thomas Jensen just passed Torren Majid a moment ago, as Torren has gone off again, I think. Yes, he has. So Thomas goes by, moves himself up a spot into the 5th position. Let's grab a from Torren incident. Again locks the rears into the chicane here, like the lap before. Skates across the grass again, rejoins the circuit, and Thomas goes right by him. Oscar still running with Patrick Silvassi. These two not really swapping any positions at the moment, so staying as they are at the moment. But in the meantime, Docampo under pressure from Ericsson. Down into the hairpin, Ericsson gonna try to go the long way around, not gonna work. And the Reds have definitely fallen off at this stage, 17 laps to go. So they held it out about 8 laps, which is very solid actually. But at this point the Reds absolutely shot, so Ericsson, he has just got to stay patient, wait for the right gap to open up, and he can drive right by him for sure. I have no doubt, because the Reds are going to be very, very slow out of the slow speed corners. Very unstable in the high speed corners as well. Through Stavilo, up towards Blanchimont, on board, Ericsson on the push to pass. And Docampo goes to the right hand side of the track, doesn't really fight it too much. As Ericsson goes up the inside of Blanchimont and takes the race lead for the first time tonight. Docampo is going to have a look up the inside, but doesn't have the grip to come back. And so he will fall in line and try to survive until the first round of pit stops. No contest really for Docampo. Not much you can really do when the tires fall away from you. And Docampo already loses 9/10 of a second in not even half a lap. It's about a quarter of a lap, so that just goes to show how much of a performance advantage the blacks really have when the red tires fall off. And that gap is only going to grow in the middle part of the lap. If Docampo goes on for any longer, it won't be too long until Fredriksson is going to close that gap as well. Here he is. And you can already see the two leaders just up in front. But he's good company from Patrick Silvassi, of course, to deal with as well. Curious to see how long Docampo is going to stay out. Is he going to take this lap? Or is he going to try to go for another lap? It wouldn't really make sense to me though. Excuse me if you heard that. It's a bit surprising to me because from what I remember the fuel window is about 10 laps. Considering this track's length as well. Definitely not one of the shorter tracks. It's right up there towards the longest. Of course, the Nordschleife is the king of the long race tracks. Spa isn't very slow, so... Like I said, I'm surprised. I would have expected Docampo to maybe do 8 laps on the Reds, but not 10. And that's at most 8 laps. Maybe he knows something that we don't. Actually, he's not really falling away that quickly compared to when he got overtaken by Ericsson. The gap is only 1.3, and I say only, that gap was 0.8, 0.9 a lap ago. It's only half a second when the Reds have definitely fallen away, because Del Campo lost about 2 seconds in the space of 3 laps. If it wasn't 3 seconds in 2 laps. Let's take a look at the fastest lap times though for the drivers at the moment. Starting with the top 5, Ericsson's 1 minute 58.7, 157.9 for Del Campo. Fastest lap of the race as well, by the way, 159.3 for Fredriksson. Also 159.3 for Savassi and a 59.8 for Torre Majid. Overlay isn't really doing what I wanted to, but that's fine. Let's go back to the timing tower then. So these guys continue to stay out. And I think it's looking more and more likely these guys are saving fuel to go for the 1-stop, which is a very big surprise. Oh, Torma just had an incident in the bus stop chicane. He's gone around for sure. What the reason is though, I'm not sure. Still a Jensen this time. Let's go back here and see what happened to Thomas Jensen. Oh, loses the car, goes through the graph. Oh! Almost had the save of his life right there, but just about lost it. It's going to be scary with oncoming traffic, but he regroups. Want to go again for the onboard angle here. Tank slapper through the gravel, and then overcorrects the car and spins out. And of course, Torre Majid was the one that went right by him. This was right behind as well, so Torren picks up that position. As this is Torren making a mistake himself as well. Into the bus stop chicane. Remember that the tires are falling off for sure though, and yep, all the power, loses it. Spins right around, does a nice donut. He did those last season after the race, but doesn't really look like it's going his way tonight. The Campo now falling away from Ericsson. It's now 3 seconds. It's very impressive that Del Campo is able to go on this long, but here he is. He's going to come into the pits. 11 laps into the race, so definitely short on that 1-stop strategy. So here we go. I have to say I'm still very surprised that he went this long on the Reds. I really don't think that's the way to go, to be fair. But you learn as you go, I guess. Actually, I'm a very bad angle. Here we go. That's a lot better. The Campo is going to move to the blacks. Ericsson going to go to the Reds. And this might be his middle stint. He might be doing 3 or 4 laps on the Reds and then go back to the blacks to finish off the race with. But Patrick Silvassi is the only car that stays out. He takes the race lead for a lap or 2 depending on when he's going to pit. That explains why he wasn't really racing Fredriksson earlier. Patrick deciding to save some fuel. Patrick is going to try the 1-stop, I would imagine. It's going to be a very big stretch though, but I think he's going to try it. Doesn't really have that much to lose. He is in or around the top 5 most of the time anyway. So taking a gamble like this might just win you a race. And if you've got the opportunity, why not take it? But Del Campo loses another second in the pits on his in and out lap here. So Ericsson definitely getting a very nice lead at the moment. And he's also on the softer compound. Now remember that the Reds will fall away after about 6-7 laps, like we saw with Del Campo. So that pace advantage is going to be pretty significant for those laps, but after that it's going to go really bad really quickly. Jensen again having some issues it seems. Going off the track once again. Also Ross Fenton having an issue. I think he might have just touched the gravel there, out of step there. So Patrick Silvassi in the meantime also in the pits, gonna go to the reds. Same as Ericsson just a lap later. Ooh, was there contact with the pit exit wall for Patrick? Let's go back and see. Just a bit of oversteer, that's fine. Oh, actually, there might have been a little bit of contact on the inside wall, actually. I thought it was going to be the outside, but I think he's going to be okay. Catching a lucky break, Patrick, on the push to pass. He's got his teammate Seb Kinder right behind. He's on that line, of course, so Patrick doesn't really have to worry about him. So Turan Majid, winner of this race last season, runs in P5. After a few mistakes in the chicane on the backside of the circuit, which didn't cost him too much, but of course aren't ideal, and definitely do cost you something. And quite literally in no man's land right now. 5 seconds in front of. Sorry, that's Jensen and Geiser. 2 seconds in front of Jensen, but these guys have been very close together all race long in terms of pace. But these guys haven't really been racing each other at all as well, so that's basically why these guys are in no man's land together. But yeah, these guys are 15 seconds behind Patrick Silvassi, who's running in 4th. So I think 5th is the most achievable for Majid and Jensen at the moment. The biggest mover, Thomas Geiser, at 4 positions. Started last, up to P7 he is. And actually got the threat in here a moment ago, I think. Actually, there was Thomas blinking out for a second there, so never mind. These guys running very closely together though. Ross on the reds, Thomas on the blacks. Thomas goes in a little bit deep. Gets a solid exit though. I think Ross is going to line him up with the push to pass down the hill. And now up the hill, push to pass not in effect yet. Maybe he won't use it at all, we don't know. There he is. Push to pass enabled for Ross Fenton down the straight. Thomas going to go defensive to the inside, but I think, oh, Ross is going to go over the grass. Going to force his way down the inside. There you go, late on the brakes. Wow. Oh man. What a move by Ross Fenton. Thomas going to come back. Oh my god, that was close. Thomas almost came back there, but Ross forces his way down the inside, goes over the grass. It's legal because you are still on the track with 2 wheels. But man, what a risk. And it paid off as well. Into P7 he goes. Look at this. Oh, it's actually 4 wheels just... I'm not sure if that was completely legal or not. VOR Racing didn't give him a penalty for it though. I think it was legal. But what a move by Ross. That showed some proper balls right there. Oh, Thomas actually just got in front of him again. Was there a slowdown from Ross, or did he make a mistake? Oh! Thomas sends it up the inside, the 2 bang wheels. And gets back in front, so that's another angle from this. This time from slow-mo. Ross slows down for the corner. I think he's actually got a slowdown of some kind, but Thomas goes down the inside. He is right there alongside in the corner. Yes, it was a late move, but he was alongside, so I don't think Ross really should have turned in that right there, but I don't think any damage for any driver, so they're good to go. So Ross gonna try again. up the hill. Thomas definitely gutting the inside a little bit more this time, as Ross is gonna be forced to go the long way this time around into Lecombe. Late on the brakes again. Oh, close running, but they manage. Oh, where's Thomas gone? Thomas has gone around. Okay, so oof, that's a bit tough on Thomas right there. But Ross right around the outside gets the position. Let's get an angle from this one this time around. So we can actually get there in SDK. Hello, thank you. So Ross late on the brakes. Thomas again. He tried to put his nose in there, but took too much speed in the corner. And his tires have fallen away a little bit already, so that he took too much speed for the tires to handle, lost the grip on the rears, and simply lost it. But these guys definitely going at it, hard on hard. That was very aggressive indeed. Ooh. Yes, Lily, thank you. I almost missed that one. Patrick moves in front of Fredrickson. That's gonna move. Let's get this move as well. Patrick with a lot of overspeed. He must be on the push to pass. Yes, he is. Easy move for Patrick down the Camel Straight. Moves in front of reigning champ Oscar Fredrickson. Into the podium positions for Patrick. So if he keeps this up, this might be one of his better drives in the Euro Series. So 9 laps to go after a chaotic middle part of this race. Let's calm it down a little bit again. Ericsson leads by 2.5 over Alejandro Del Campo, who is on the primary blacks. Ericsson on the reds. His tires are slowly falling away from him, just like we saw with Del Campo in the first stint. Remember though that this is a very definite 2-stop race, so Ericsson might be deciding to come into the pits sooner rather than later to get rid of those reds and go back onto the reds, onto the blacks, sorry. But Del Campo might try something different again and go back to the reds. I'm still not mentally over that move by Ross, by the way. I think after the 2 contacts made between Ross and Thomas, we're not gonna see any happy faces on the Discord after the race, but sure made a good show as Ross is in the pits now. Is this a scheduled stop or not? Wheel looks straight, so I think it's a scheduled stop. 8 laps to go. He's gonna get rid of the reds. Ah! Was that a drive-through penalty? Huh? That one is strange. Hold on, let me look in the driver's chat for a second, because I'm very confused at this point. Hold on, 1 second. Ah, yes, okay, so Ross actually hit the incident limit of 14x, which is a drive-through penalty, I'm pretty sure. So that's what's the penalty, what the penalty is. Proper English, that. So he rejoins the track behind Thomas Geisler, the driver that he tried to pass so desperately. So you could say that move was literally for nothing, because he's right back to square one. He's got to try again with tyres that are slightly worse in shape than they were about 4 laps ago when he made that move. So here we go though, battle for the race lead, 7 laps to go. I am still expecting another round of pit stops though, so this might be for the win, who knows. But Del Campo on the push to pass, Ericsson just up in front is also on the push to pass, gonna try to defend. Oh! Del Campo right on the gearbox up the hill, down the straight. And it's a drag race into Lake Home. Who's gonna be the latest breaker? And it's Del Campo just about. And he actually makes a very neat move around the outside for the race lead. Perfectly executed with the tyres that are slightly better in shape. A little bit more grip. Of course the red's fallen off now for Ericsson. So he drops to P2. And Del Campo, after starting on the pole, back in the race lead with 7 laps to go as these drivers both go very wide. So the 2 front runners last pitted on lap 12. Patrick Silvassi pitted on lap 13. Which actually tells me something as well. These guys have saved fuel to make it a one-stop race. So they're not gonna pit again. So there's the race to the finish right here. So Ericsson just lost that race lead as the camp is trying to break the draft, I think. Oh, Ericsson goes in very deep into the bus stop, outbrakes himself, loses a little bit more lap time to Del Campo. And I think that's the battle for the win taken care of, let's say. Del Campo 1.7 in front with better tyres than Ericsson. Ericsson's tyres are only really going to get worse from here, so Del Campo just has to keep it on the road, save fuel to his number, and bring the car home. Patrick Silvassi, 2 seconds clear of Oscar Fredriksson. On track for a very well-deserved podium at the moment. Excellent performance by the Team Watson Racing driver. Lily's gonna be happy about that. For sure she's gonna be disappointed with Seb's incident early in the race, as he is down in 10th, a lap down. Which won't be great for his championship hopes. Seb Kinders, that is. It also has to be said, by the way, quite a disappointing day for Ross Fretton and Robert Sadler, running in the 8th and the 9th positions. Both of these guys got involved in that incident, Robert tapping Seb Kinder in the bus stop chicane. Seb trying to take a straight apex, or late apex, sorry, then accelerate in a straight line, which is what I was trying to say. But Robert was on the inside and the 2 made contact, which involved Jeremy Pronk and also Ross Fretton, who was involved there as well. So these guys run invisible races, to put it bluntly. Biggest move for still though, Thomas Geisler up 4. Banged wheels with Ross Fretton a few moments ago. Was amazing to see on the broadcast. I'm not sure if Thomas is going to be happy with that though. Thankfully I have the driver's chat muted, because I think some words might have flown around. Oh, Sadler has crashed. My SDK is telling me. Oh! Big wiggle out of Stafilo. Stamps on the brakes. Doesn't hit anything. So 5 laps to go. And Del Campo's got a very nice lead over Jesper Eriksson, who is dropping back from that race lead. And Del Campo has, but I think it's going to be solid in P2. I don't think Savassi is going to be able to catch him, so the top 3. Actually, I'm going to play it safe here. The top 2 pretty much locked in. P3 I'm not so sure yet, because Oscar doesn't go down without a fight, so... Well, neither does anybody in this field, by the way, but Oscar, defending champion of the series, he is hungry for those good results. Of course, didn't have the start of the season that he had hoped for. Completely dominated the series earlier on in the season, last season. I believe he won the first 3 races, and then he didn't win at Spa, and then won again 2 races. In terms of the road courses, that is, not counting the ovals. Definitely not as smooth sailing for Oscar as he had expected, perhaps, going into this season. Of course, he was quite the benchmark last season, and going into this one. But of course, with more competition by Alejandro Docampo, Jesper Eriksson, just to name 2 of those, it is definitely a more competitive series. So if you want to get involved in this as well, I think you can take the fight to these guys. Join the Discord, sign up over there, and you can race with us as early as next week at the Hungaroring, which is actually a track I don't own yet, so I need to buy it. I never actually got around buying that one. I was so hyped when it released, but I never bought it. For what it's worth, the track temperature is down a complete degree. Yes, that's a lot. Not really. Big wiggle for Eriksson, sorry. As his reds are shredding to pieces almost. 5 seconds is the gap to Docampo. The gap is 8 seconds to Savassi. And I believe these guys are all on the reds. Yes, they are. So they are all gonna be suffering the same kind of pain of nursing these tires home. And Patrick pulls away to a 4-second gap over Oscar. So I want to go and cautiously say that Patrick has got P3 sealed, provided he makes his way to the finish, of course. Robert just spitted a lap ago. He's probably going to go for fastest lap. Doesn't give you an extra point, but always a nice thing to have. At least you can say, hey, I had the pace. So, of course, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, tonight we have the Twin Ring Motegi road course for the main series, which is going to be broadcasted by Chris Scala on this channel. So tune in about 4 hours from now for the Grand Prix of Motegi. Next week in the main series we go to the Oval at Motegi. Because in the Euro Series next week is the Hungaroring, as I mentioned. Oscar off the throttle for a very long time there. I don't know if you guys heard it, but I did. So Oscar lifting and coasting, trying to make his way to the finish. He pitted on lap 12. Yes, he did. So he is definitely trying to race to a number to make the finish on this set of tires. Lily, what is the clocking speed of your CPU? Because if it's just under, it might be able to handle it. I know my school laptop runs iRacing, and my school laptop is... what's the right word to use here without using bad language? It's... don't know a nice word to use. It's not very good, to put it lightly. But it handles it. So. If your clocking speed of the CPU isn't that far under the minimum required, then you should be able to run it. Just on the lowest possible graphics settings though. So Majid and Thomas Jensen on their return to the Euro Series, on track for a very solid points finish. Both of them representing Falcon Esports in the Teams Championship. Euromaster Esports, by the way, with Del Campo as their lead driver. We have a new sign-up as well. Juanma Frias Games. I don't know how to pronounce that name. It's Spanish for sure though. He is not actually racing this week, and I don't think he's going to be racing with us next week, but he should be racing with us by mid-season, at least from what I've heard in the paddock. So excited to welcome him to the league, but at the moment though it's just Del Campo representing them, and they might not be doing too bad in the Teams Championship as well, so who knows where they end up after this race. I will have the championship standings up for you guys next week for the Hungarian Grand Prix in the Euro Series, but I believe Team VOR is going to go to the lead of the Teams Championship. Is that correct? It might be Team Watson Racing, one of the two. I don't have the numbers with me right now, unfortunately, but white flag is out for Alejandro Del Campo, who we just talked about for the, I have to look this up, Euromaster Esports team. On the push to pass, trying to push for a final lap. Not sure if he can push for fastest lap though. Actually, he already has that fastest lap, 157.93. Which was actually set quite a bit earlier in the race. Oh, it's nowhere near the minimum. I'm sorry to hear that, really. It would have been great to have you running with us, but if the equipment doesn't allow it, then that's very sad, of course. Just a handful of corners to go though for Alejandro Del Campo, who's going to go to victory lane for the first time this season. I'm pretty sure that's going to mark 3 winners in 3 races, if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes I am though, so I'm going to have to look this up. Yes, it will be the 3rd winner in 3 races. So Alejandro Del Campo with a perfect drive goes to victory lane for the first time this season. Perhaps not the last, but he wins the Belgian Grand Prix by at least 13 seconds over Jesper Eriksson. It is the 3rd winner in as many races this season, so that definitely shows the competition of this series at the moment, which is great. Jesper Eriksson comes home in the 2nd position. Not sure if that wiggle was in happiness or not. But Patrick Silvestri though gonna come across the line for Team Watson Racing to take a very well deserved and hard fought for podium. And fastest lap for good measure went to Del Campo as well, 157.5. So he has shaved about a second off that. Oscar Fredriksson finishes P4. Tor Majid finishes P5. Not the race that he had hoped for. Of course, he won last season, but still a solid top 5. Thomas Jensen gonna come across the line for P6. Sepp Kinder a lap down in P10. Now we have to wait a little while longer for Thomas Geisler, as he is running off the pace significantly. So there you go. Thomas comes across the line in P7. Biggest mover in the race as well. Ross Fretton comes home in P8 at 1 position from his starting spot. Not the debut race that he might have been expecting. He was definitely right up there in terms of pace from the word go. But just didn't really go his way tonight. Robert Sadler memes his way into the wall in P9. So I think this is one to forget for these guys. Anyways, that wraps it up for the Belgian Grand Prix here. Let's bring in the race results. Here we go. So we've got to get rid of this one too. There you go. So Alejandro Del Campo wins it for Euromaster Esports, 13.6 seconds in front of Jesper Eriksson. The top two finished the race where they started as well. Then we have Patrick Silvassi, who runs off the podium, about 8 seconds back on Eriksson. Again, a very impressive drive by Patrick. Oscar Fredriksson comes home in the 4th position, 30.9 behind the winner. Again, not the race that he had hoped for as well after a dominant championship run last season. Still doesn't go his way. Still waiting for that first win this season. Torre Majid finishes P5 on his return to the series. Thomas Jensen finishes P6. Both for Vulcan Esports, by the way, doing a solid job for the team's championship. Thomas Geisler, biggest mover in the race, finishes P7. Ross Fretton on debut finishes P8. Robert Sadler, P9. And then we have Sepp Kinder, who rounds off the top 10, 1 lap down. Then 10 laps down is the only retirement of the race. Jeremy Pronk for the Dutch sim racing team. He was involved in an incident between Sepp Kinder, Robert Sadler, and also Ross Fretton, who got involved in that. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up. We're going to go to a commercial break. And we will be right back with podium interviews.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Back here for your interviews tonight. At the moment, though, we only have Patrick Silvassi, which is actually the one I'm most excited to talk to. Hello, Patrick. Congratulations on a very well-deserved podium. Just talk us through your race.
First of all, thank you all. Second, thank you. I literally said the same, but who cares? So, first of all, thank you. I literally... Anyways, quali was... I did one run on the red, and this was the best I could have. Then race was as you saw, I literally went for the fuel saving strat, and I was really lucky that I got go from Oscar, and it actually worked, except one bit, which is obviously the pit exit. I think I was like inches away to not hit the wall at the exit, but at the end it really worked out. Get the podium, so yeah. Basically, that's what I.
Yeah, I saw you get close to that wall. I wondered if you got damaged, but yeah, I also saw your move on Oscar. You just flew by him, but you were actually sticking behind him for much of that race. That was because you were saving fuel. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was saving. And that's how I think the guys wasn't really saving. That was I felt like it was only me who was saving first half of the race, so that's why I was able to do the extra lap compared to them.
Yeah, they might have saved fuel in the last stint, but you did well nonetheless. Deserved podium once again for you. Made us 7 podiums in VOR in total, so congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Time to edit it.
Yeah, so exactly, by the way, on SDK. Yeah. Before I let you go, feel free to send out your shoutouts.
Yeah, obvious stuff. TWR, thank you. I feel bad for some got spun out on lap, but yeah, he said to me that he was actually for contention for top 5. Sad, but it happened. Head up, and yeah, next one will be better.
Exactly.
Which is actually gonna be my home circuit, and I'm not looking forward to it. Thank you.
Okay, well.
Literally, I don't like it. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna compare myself in F1 games. I was some sort of decent, but I actually don't like the track because it is making boring races in terms of no overtaking or hard overtaking in general. It is probably, I feel like it's gonna be another fuel saving story, but I feel like the undercut will be a really big much of a thing next.
Well, if we got Ross Fretton racing next week, I'm sure he's gonna do some dive bombs into turn 1, like we saw him do into Le Coma on the broadcast. Make sure to watch that back, by the way. It was
yeah, I will probably.
But anyway, see you next week. For
yeah, thank you very much.
So that was Patrick Zofassi. Apologies about some of the connection issues that we experienced with him, by the way. He was cutting out a little bit, but at least we understood most of what he was saying, which is the most important thing. Now I have to look. Yes, Jesper finished in the 2nd position, so let's bring him in. Hello, Jesper. Congratulations on P2. Started P2 as well. You were running at the front for most of the first stint. Just talk us through how you lost that lead there.
I lost it through tires. No, but seriously, the red tires are gone after like 2 laps. You notice the difference dropping off, but those 2 laps, they are fast. But after that, because I started on the blacks, I just went through forward, and then I got to Alejandro, and I noticed he's driving so slow. So then I just went past him, tried to do my best to build up a gap, which didn't work so good. And then towards the 2nd stint, I needed to save so much fuel. But Alejandro managed to save fuel so much better, which just made him fly past. I don't have an explanation on how, but it was damn fast.
Yeah, you guys definitely set the pace tonight, especially Alejandro, like you said. But you definitely weren't slow either. You definitely had the pace as well. And going to the last race 2 weeks ago, it also showed right there. So you are definitely, at least in my opinion, a championship contender. Any predictions for the rest of the season for yourself, or are you just keeping expectations low?
I hope on winning it. I'm gonna fight towards the end to win it, but it's gonna be tight.
Perfect. Well, next race is going to be the Hungaroring, a track that IndyCars, at least on iRacing to my knowledge, have never raced on before. I haven't seen it in the Open Series as well. So a lot of unknowns there. Any expectations there that you might already have from driving it in testing sessions? Or
I have never driven it in iRacing. I have done a TCR race there in Race Room like 2 or 3 years back. But other than that, I have never raced there. It's not a track that I particularly like or where I'm fast at, so it's gonna be probably not gonna go to my advantage.
All right, well, we'll just have to wait and see then.
Yes,
so see you next week. Actually, no, before I do that, feel free to send out any shout-outs to any people out there.
I would like to shout out my team, everyone at my team helping me get here. I would like to thank out the whole of Velocity Online Racing, both the team and this organization. I would like Oscar too for helping me so much, and like about everyone.
Perfect. Well, see you next week for the Hungarian Grand Prix at the Hungaroring.
See you.
So that was Jesper Eriksson. We got the 3rd and 2nd place drivers up for interviews. Sadly, Alejandro Docampo isn't available for an interview, as he's got to leave. So we're sad that we couldn't talk to him, but hopefully next time that he wins a race, we can. But that's going to wrap it up for us here tonight in the Euro Series. Of course, as I mentioned a few times already tonight, we have the main series at the Motegi Road Course tonight. So make sure to tune in then as well. Next week we go to the Hungaroring circuit for the Hungarian Grand Prix in the Euro Series. It's going to be the first ever visit to Hungary for the IndyCar. So a lot of unknowns, like I said in my interview with Jesper there. So who knows what's going to happen there. Maybe some dive bombs into turn 1. We just don't know. So I hope you all join us again next week for round 4 of the Euro Series. I want to thank Isaac Morris with Apex Age Coaching for sponsoring us, and you guys, the viewers. And of course, hope to see you all back again next week. Take care.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.